You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Hey, y'all, this is your Southern sister, Jenny Earhart, with the Southern Sisters Radio Show. I would love to connect with you on Facebook. Check us out at Southern Sisters with Jenny Earhart and online at southernsistershome.com. I'm in Wynn's World, and I love it.
Hey, baseball fans, I'm Casey Motter. Welcome to Wynn's World,
the out-of-control Atlanta Traffic Watch.
It is out of control, but the one who can bring sovereignty back to the Atlanta roadways, Mr. Monroe.
24-karat magic.
Oh, wait. We're not allowed to sing Bruno Mars songs.
I know. I'm sorry.
We got an email a few weeks back.
It was an email.
We could be getting sued sometime soon if we use the music of Runo Bay Arsme. So let's refrain.
I can't say, during the Super Bowl, all of that. You cannot use that in anything unless you're, so I say the bowl of super.
The big game this Sunday.
The big game. It's so stupid. The bowl of super. It's free advertising for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What gives? Really grinds my gears.
It grinds my gears. We need to get back into the grind my gears segment. What I need to do is during the week, I need to start keeping a grind my gears journal.
Yes.
I
love it.
So that we can just kind of come down here and just rattle them off.
But despite you not having that prepared, grinds and gears and grinded gears are going to be grounded into groundation this weekend on the Atlanta roadways.
Yeah, well, part of the 285-75 interchange in Cobb is they fill out those express lanes. Have you seen all those feeder lane systems that are way up high now that kind of soar above SunTrust Park?
Sure.
So they have to block part of the regular lanes and the ramp lanes there to do so. Like overnights, if you're traveling, you're trying to get home late, maybe you've had one or two, just be aware that 75, 285 may have some lane closures up there over the weekend. Also, on the south side, the express lane will be closed for a good portion of Saturday night into Sunday morning, both ways, between Stockbridge and McDonough for some maintenance work or something. So they'll be doing that. But I have a little good news.
Ooh, share.
I know, right? It's summertime. School's out.
I've noticed the change.
I mean, have you, summer's not 3 months like it used to be. It's only like 2 weeks now. But
best 2 weeks of my life.
Best 2 weeks. But for at least probably the next 8 weeks, we'll have some better than normal traffic. I mean, I only worked 2 days this week, so because I took some extra time off around Memorial Day. But the rush hours I've worked have been like pretty blissful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh man, it's just like, it's pretty amazing. So that is a little bit of good news. They are resurfacing the downtown connector still. They've got all that stuff going on. So be mindful of that through the city. I think a lot of the bigger issues are going to be on the weekends as folks are out and about enjoying the nice weather and traveling and all of that stuff.
Sounds like you'll be doing a bit of enjoying some weather and possible travel as we move toward fanning the flames of Tinder.
From a small spark comes a big fire. And only you can prevent Tinder fires. Nice. Tinder is such I want to write in my profile And it's so weird because one time I switched over and said search for guys because I wanted to see what all the guys' profiles.
Yeah,
look like.
research purposes.
Yeah,
only.
I don't go that. Nothing wrong with that.
Right, nothing wrong with that if you go that way.
But if I got a knock on the head. And I'm serious. I mean, all the girls complain about guys like in their shirtless mirror pictures and their car pictures and their pictures with their fish and their motorcycles. And I mean, literally, in the tiger picture. How the hell how many of these people have they been able to like take a pic? I don't understand. Where are all these tigers? So anyway, I mean,
you're not talking about Tiger Woods?
No.
Picture. Okay,
no,
I'm not. Tigers.
I'm not talking about the tiger one. I'm talking about actual animals. So I started flipping through and I'm going, man, this is bad. And I'm some good-looking guys, but they're just so douchey. So I really want to put on my profile. Look, ladies, I understand. You got to deal with a lot. I'm not giving you any of that here on the Monroe profile. Okay, I'm not giving you any of the stuff that you hate. But there's a lot of stuff that us guys have to deal with, too, on the Tinders. I mean, the number of fake profiles, I don't know why they do this. They used to, so they would try to, like, say, hey, sexy, go to this link and, I mean.
Sure, yeah.
All this phishing.
My webcam.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't even do that anymore. But there's like, I mean, and you can tell immediately it's a fake profile. So we have to deal with a lot of fake profiles. The angry people that have lists of demands. Lots of females, scorned females out there, J-Dub, that have lists of demands on the old Tinder. So when you're fanning the flames, my point being here that sometimes you need a little extra benzene or gasoline or kerosene.
So what would that look like on your profile?
Well, what you have to do is you have to bring the sexy. So a little suit and tie.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys don't do that. But girls, a lot of sapiosexual women.
Oh, can you define that for us,
Well,
please?
that means women that are turned on by intelligence and good conversation.
Ah, nice.
Not necessarily my face for radio.
So, for instance, if you were to be going on a date this last Thursday night, you could say, come on over, I'm watching the spelling bee. And they're like, oh my gosh, swoon, knees are buckled, panties are dropping. It's a freak show.
If you know the difference in Fan of the Flames on Tinder or anything like that, or Bumble, or Poff, plenty of fish, or Zoosk, or Match.com, or heaven forbid eHarmony, is understanding women a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Most guys just like, hey, man, look, I got my shirt off, I got my tight abs, and girls just don't like that for the most part. I mean, there's a certain set of girls like that, but in general, you got to know how to set the trap.
Ooh, I like it.
You got to have to get a little piece of cheese out of it. And then you take it from there and you go, woof, woof. Oof, you fan the flames, baby.
So I got a little homework assignment for you.
Yeah, okay.
There's such a thing as the Dennis system. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I'm very familiar with the Dennis system.
So
yes.
what I want is an acronym for the Chris system. So maybe this time by next week you can put your thinking cap on and come up with a Chris system.
Charm seriously.
Okay.
Heat things up intensely.
Nice.
Romance briefly.
Okay.
Independent, I don't know. And then separate entirely would be
That's the last one.
Yeah, so no, I mean that's just off the cuff, but we could come up with something.
I think that's brilliant. We're just missing the I. That's a tough one.
That is tough.
Yeah, whenever you're left with an I on the Scrabble board, you really got to put on your thinking hat.
You got to put on your thing. What was it, Americane or something? That was the spelling bee word.
Yeah,
it's a type of fabric. But when one of the on-air people asked me today what it was, I said that's American Hurricane. It's a Americane.
Can I vent a tad here? All right, and I know these are children, correct?
Uh-oh.
And for 3 points. First point: why the hell is the spelling bee on ESPN? That just shows you how fake news ESPN is now. Terrible.
No channel is what they espouse to be.
Yes,
the Weather Channel, MTV, ESPN. I mean, those were sacred hallowed grounds. If I wanted to see Mr. Kyrie Broken Wings video, I could go to MTV back in the day.
Yes.
If I wanted to watch sports, I could go to ESPN, ESPN, the Ocho, like 53 channels of ESPN now.
Sure.
Vintage college, but it's not anymore.
It's not at all.
Yes, I feel your frustration on that.
Well, what gets me last night is I'm watching it, and I'm deferring from the NBA Finals. I waited and watched that later on in the evening. By the way, The NBA is such a joke. There is absolutely no competitive parity in the final series. It was just a blowout, 22-point victory, and it wasn't even that close.
See, I'm not into the NBA at all, so I've never been a basketball fan. I did go to a couple of Hawks games. I like the Turner Field experience. I thought the Hawks, as long as it's entertaining to watch. And for me, that's one of those things that I really need to watch live.
Right.
I can't watch it on TV. It's just that camera going back and forth, and it's like, ugh.
Well, as you're watching the spelling bee and the camera's going back and forth, these kids are on stage. And they get all the stalling time, right? So This one kid's like, language of origin, please. Definition. Part of speech. Alternate pronunciation. And then after the host goes through all of those things, the kid's like, can you repeat all that again? And I'm sitting here thinking, quit stalling. You either know how to spell the damn word or you don't. Stop wasting my time.
I always go back to a Family Guy reference, don't I?
Oh, boy, here it comes.
It's like when Peter Griffin went back to the third grade because he never passed it so he could get the promotion at the Pawtucket Brewery. Okay, and he was in the spelling bee, and it was like, can you use it in a sentence? Can you use it in a dirty sentence?
and another thing, and my third point here is, look, there's nothing wrong with the following I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But I'm a little concerned that the last 10 competitors were all Indian.
I was about to ask you if there were any Asian or Indian.
No, none of them. They all had literally the country of India, Indian names. I'm not talking about feathers. I'm talking about dots.
No, I know, right. Dots, not feathers.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was just kind of disconcerting because I'm thinking, wow, where have all the cowboys gone? As Paula Cole would say.
Where have all the cowboys gone?
Terrible song.
But I'll say this. Most of the Indian people that you come across, the reason is they want to succeed. They're serious about their education.
Right, but it just makes me feel
I know.
like
listen, we can't even spell. We can, and we have spell check. And we can't spell today.
Maybe that's the problem. Everything's been done for us.
I guess so. But, leave it to the Asians and the Indians, man. First of all, they want to be here in this country. They realize what an opportunity is, and they take their education very seriously.
They do, and it makes me feel like we're not doing the same thing.
We're not. I mean, it's not about education anymore. It's about, you want to talk about a grinding the gears thing. Look, I've never been married. I don't have kids, but you've got a young one.
Yep.
And then, you'll blink an eye and they'll be in kindergarten and then, grammar school and elementary school. They everything is about the test. I mean, literally, no matter where you're at in public school, everything is about, teaching to this test and passing this stupid test. Doesn't matter if they learn anything, but by God, if they got to get this testing score done, it's just, and it's so, and I see why a lot of people are, mortgaging their houses to put kids in private school, or they're homeschooling, or they're going to a faith-based, education.
And this is why I don't understand all the drama surrounding Betsy DeVos. She wants to provide parents in struggling neighborhoods with vouchers to take their kids to a better school. And it's met with all this resistance from the establishment that wants to keep kids dumb. And that's the way it is.
Because the establishment is the teachers union and all those cushy jobs. I mean, you realize a lot of these principals and stuff. And look, I'm not saying they don't deserve it. They don't have a tough job. But a lot of these principals make, $150,000 a year, $170,000 a year, whatever. These administrators, they don't want anybody to mess with that. The teachers got they got their sweet pension and their benefits and all of that, and the teacher's retirement. They don't want anybody to come in and mess with it's the same thing with the government.
Right. It's like public schools and private prisons. Why? It inevitably creates a conflict of interest. I'll tell you what, you never know what you're going to get when the great voice of Atlanta traffic comes into Wins World.
Well, that's why this segment is so good, man. I mean, it just goes all over the place. We talk about a lot of things, and I hope it's as interesting to the listeners as it is to come in here every week and do this segment.
Love you, bro. Thanks for your time.
You too, brother. Have a great one.
Break!
My friend, what if I told you that mouse semen can survive the rigors of space travel? It's true. We are back with Weird Science in just a few moments.
Experience the Southern Sisters radio show uncensored and unfiltered on Facebook. Find us at Southern Sisters with Jenny Earhart. I'm in Wins World, and I love it.
Friends and listeners, connect with the show on Twitter at Wins World Radio, WENZ World Radio.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa is located in the beautiful North Georgia mountains in Blairsville. It's a modern twist on your mountain vacation with premium pull-through RV lot, luxury log cabin rentals, and 5-star amenities available to all guests. Crossing Creeks is truly a family-friendly environment, and we have rentals and lot sales available. If you just want to visit for the weekend, we've got the perfect spot for you. Learn more or book your stay at CrossingCreeksRVResort.com.
Come along on our one-tank trip this Saturday at 4:30 on AM 920 The Answer.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Plan on attending the Blairsville Scottish Festival and Highland Games this weekend. Yes, sir, Scottish rocking in the North Georgia mountains, featuring great music concerts all day Saturday and Sunday, along with a variety of festival activities. It's no wonder that the Blairsville Scottish Festival has made the Southeast Tourism Society's top 20 events list. Lots of things to see and do, including Scottish clans, Highland dancing, athletic competitions, great vendors, and of course, Scottish food and merchandise. To learn more, visit BlairsvilleScottishFestival.com.
This is Wynn's World. It's weird science time.
We are with the one and only Dr. Jeff Zweerink, astrophysicist and space exploration specialist. Jeff, what if I were to tell you that frozen mouse sperm in space produces pups? What would you say?
I would say, who thought up that experiment? No, it's one of those weird things that I take for granted how easy it is for things to work here. And when we go up into space, we just recognize things behave differently. And so this, to me, is one of those natural experiments you would do to just ask the question, do things that work here on Earth actually work well up in space?
Right. And so we've heard in the past about how the government has done experiments with peanut butter in space. But what might be some of the reasons for this experiment besides just the what-if kind of factor? Well,
a couple of things you want to look at is that on Earth we live in a pretty protected radiation environment.
Sure.
In other words, if you go deep down into the underground, you're exposed to radiation from radioactive decay in the rocks. If you go up into space, you're exposed to radiation from the sun and cosmic rays and other things. And, so we've got this kind of ideal or pristine environment that we live in here on Earth. And so it's just asking the question, as we get out of that environment, how detrimental, how resilient is life to that radiation environment? And if we were to try and do something longer term, like house some sort of genetic material to repopulate the Earth in the event of some catastrophe, how reasonable is that? And so that's kind of that's kind of the nature of where I see this experiment being done, is just beginning to ask that question in a scientific and careful way.
So what did they find as it pertains to this experiment? What did they discover?
This particular experiment, they took some frozen mouse sperm and launched it up onto the space station and kept it there for 9 months. And so the radiation environment on the space station is significantly higher than here on Earth. Right. I think it's about 100 times worse, which sounds like it's really bad, but it's just a reflection of how low the radiation environment here on Earth. And then they brought the samples back and then used it to see if they could fertilize female mice and have them actually produce pups. And lo and behold, they did.
Forgive me, I'm not the expert, you are. But does space somehow impact the deoxyribonucleic acid?
Yeah, so what happens anytime you're in a high radiation environment, that radiation can come in, and if it hits an atom or a molecule inside in the DNA or any other sort of life molecule for that matter, it can cause a chemical change or it can ionize it. I mean, so it can actually cause things that will substitute, give you a different amino acid in the base pair or something like that. So it can actually change the genetic code. And they found that these mice pups actually had slight changes in the genetic code from what they expected from the sperm samples. And so they actually see that sort of effect going on there.
So how would that translate, in your opinion, in regards to this experiment, if it were human sperm in space?
Probably, my guess is it's very similar. I mean, the part of the reason why they're using the sperm samples is one that just the reproductive cells are particularly sensitive to radiation, and so throwing up some skin cells or something like that wouldn't have been nearly as instructive. And then you can also, by actually producing the organism, you can amplify the effect and see how whether it's actually deleterious or not, or detrimental or not. One of the things that they found that was very interesting is that they noticed some damage in the DNA. But when the pups were born, some of that damage had been repaired, and so it looks like just the act of fertilization and with becoming an embryo, and that actually repairs some of that damage. And to me, that just says it's remarkable how well designed life is to operate in pretty harsh environments.
So, would it be safe to say that space sex is on the horizon for the human race?
I don't know. That's actually a very weird question.
That's what we do here in When's World. We bring the weird.
Betcha. One, the privacy is not really large up in space because you don't have a lot of room to be. We have to manufacture all the environments.
Right.
But there is a very real question of what would happen if you fertilize things up in space. And I know they've done some of that with fish eggs, and I think that actually works successfully. But the gravity actually plays a role in how we develop. Even once humans are born, going up into space and then coming back causes a lot of deterioration of our muscle and bone structure. And so it's unclear how organisms would actually develop out in space. And, quite honestly, I think it's a little unethical to perform that experiment on humans.
So at this point, it's just the mouse sperm in space. We're not going to be recreating human beings in an environment full of radioactive material and poor gravity structure. Is that what you're saying?
At least not yet. But again, I think that's kind of the thought behind this, at least as I'm reading the article and the material surrounding it. What they're talking about is, can we take female eggs, male sperm of different species, freeze them, store them in some place that if something catastrophic were to happen on Earth, that we could then either, I'm guessing, kind of bring them back and repopulate the Earth, or if typically those sorts of things are detrimental for thousands of years, that we could actually begin to grow life out, maybe out on the moon or in a space station or something like that. So obviously we're talking technology that's quite a ways off, but one of the big problems you run into is that if you're talking about long-term storage like that, the longer it's out there, the more the radiation does damage, and eventually you get to a place where none of that damage, or the damage is so great that it can't be repaired. So it's an open question whether this will even work or not. But again, they're just trying to put some of the initial steps into testing the idea.
Always with amazing insights, Dr. Jeff Zweerink. Connect with him on Twitter at RTB_JZWEERINK, and of course with Reasons Online, reasons.org. Dr. Zweerink, in addition to being the coolest astrophysicist, you're a relationship expert as of our last talk, and now you are expert on all things mouse space semen. I am floored by the extent of your knowledge. It knows no bounds.
Hey, I feel it's my duty to understand a little bit of obscure things that most people don't care about so that I can talk about them.
And you know we bring the obscure and the weird here in Wynn's World. That's how we bring it, bro. Thank you so much for your time, Jeff.
Thanks, Joey. It's been fun.
Friends, stick with us. When we come back from this short break, we are taking a one-tank road trip northbound to beautiful Blairsville, Georgia, Union County, home of the Scottish Festival, taking place next weekend, kicking off Friday night, June 9th, through Sunday, June 11th. And just a stone's throw from there is where Anderson and Coosa Creeks intersect. Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa, the perfect place for a weekend getaway. You don't want to miss this. Stick with us.
Hey guys, it's Lacey
and Amber
from Westside Yoga. We're in Wynn's World and we love it.
Explore the greater outdoors in the mountains of beautiful Blairsville, Union County, Georgia. A quick 2-hour drive from Atlanta, Blairsville truly offers something for everyone. Outdoor activities include lakes, rivers, waterfalls, hiking, biking, and more. Excellent food in Georgia's premier wine country. Georgia's tallest peak, Brasstown Bald, and the stunning Vogel State Park all make Blairsville the perfect spot for your next mountain getaway. Learn more at visitblairsvillega.com.
Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa is located in the beautiful North Georgia mountains in Blairsville. It's a modern twist on your mountain vacation with premium pull-through RV lot, luxury log cabin rentals, and 5-star amenities available to all guests. Crossing Creeks is truly a family-friendly environment, and we have rentals and lot sales available. If you just want to visit for the weekend, we've got the perfect spot for you. Learn more or book your stay at CrossingCreeksRVResort.com.
Come along on our one-tank trip this Saturday at 4:30 on AM 920 The Answer.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Oh yeah, it's time to take another one-tank trip back to Blairsville for a very special occasion that happens every year. And we have the Director of Tourism for Blairsville, Tobie, on the line. Tobie, welcome back to Wynn's World. How are you?
Hey, Joey, thanks so much. Great to be back.
Absolutely. So you guys have something big coming up on the weekend of the Friday the 9th through Sunday, June 11th, right?
We do. It's the 14th annual Blairsville Scottish Festival and Highland Games.
That sounds like so much fun. You know, on the surface, I'm kind of wondering why there would be a Scottish festival in Blairsville, Georgia. Help me to explain this.
Yeah, so actually it dates back to the 1700s when the Scots came to America as a refuge from their persecution. And they landed in Darien, which is down near Savannah, Georgia. And eventually they began to migrate north, and they sought the better climate of the mountains, the rolling hills that reminded them of their homeland. And they eventually merged cultures with the Cherokee Indians. And ironically, since that time, there has been a large Scottish population here in Blairsville, Union County. Well, actually, looking through our phone book, we've noted more than 400 last names that come from the Scottish heritage. But more importantly, there are 27 million people that claim Scottish heritage here in America. That's why it's so important to have this festival to remind people of the culture.
That is so cool. And it's all happening at Meeks Park, right?
It is. And let me tell you about Meeks Park. It is the most beautiful municipal park in all of Georgia. We have over 55 acres. We have 2 different creeks running through, Butternut Creek and Notley River. There's ball fields. There's hiking trails. We have a brand new playground. We have a pool for the community to enjoy, a brand new splash pad for the little kids. And also new this year, we have a grist mill, so you can see how the old water wheel turns. And there's also a kayak ramp, so you can put your boats right in and paddle up to Lake Notley.
That is so awesome. Again, if you're just joining us, we are with Director of Tourism for Blairsville, Georgia, Tobie Chandler, and we're talking about the Scottish Festival. It's all going down starting Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. We talked about Meeks Park, over 50 acres of space, so you're not going to be on top of your neighbor there. Plenty of room to throw out a blanket or two and have a great time. You guys have a lot of other things going on that weekend. I see some music and song, pipes and drums, workshops, weaponry. There seems to be something for everybody, Tobie.
So this festival is really a family-friendly affair. We have items for the kids to do. We have passports. They can go around to the different clans and learn about the Scottish heritage.
Cool.
We're going to have over 35 different clans represented here. And, of course, the athletic games. We have athletes come from all over the world to compete at our Scottish games. It's really a feat to watch what they do.
And, Tobie, we all know that real men wear kilts, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of those on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th.
You will get your fill of kilts at the Scottish Festival. My favorite part is watching the masked bands. You have all the different clans come together with their different tartans on their kilts representing their heritage.
That is so awesome. Now, for people that are headed up there, there's plenty of parking. This festival is going on rain or shine, right?
Rain or shine, Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., free parking, free shuttles. Children under 12 are free to get in. It's a lot of fun.
And the party starts Friday night because we were talking about a concert that's going down to kick everything off for the Scottish Festival in Blairsville.
Yes, we actually have a Scottish troubadour that's going to be performing for us in the old courthouse in the Blairsville Square. Colin Grant Adams is going to be entertaining us, and we'll also have bagpipers out front of the courthouse for you to enjoy. And the party continues Saturday evening. We're going to have the Seven Nations Band rock it out at Meeks Park.
Nice.
And then on the square in Blairsville, we have an awesome band called Raven and Red that are going to play their Celtic tunes.
And, of course, if people have questions, there's a fantastic website. It's so user-friendly. BlairsvilleScottishFestival.com. Again, BlairsvilleScottishFestival.com. And, of course, if you have further questions, there's a number on the website where you can reach out to the Blairsville Chamber of Commerce directly.
Absolutely. And I just want to let you know also we're going to have dancing groups. We're going to have animals. You can learn about birds of prey. You can watch the border collies. Lots of activities for the kids, and you have to try some delicious Scottish food.
You're speaking my language, Tobie. I absolutely love it.
We have over 70 vendors, and there's music all weekend long. No matter what time you come, we have tons of music for your enjoyment, from the Blarney Girls to Raven and Red. There's tons of music to enjoy.
So, Tobie, it seems to me that a Scottish festival wouldn't be a Scottish festival without a bunch of bagpipes. Am I wrong?
You are absolutely correct. And the cool part about this festival is it's so interactive. We even have workshops for you to learn how to play the bagpipes or a fiddle yourself. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
And you can touch the animals. You can work with the athletes. They'll show you how to throw their caber. It is completely interactive. You are going to have so much fun at the Blairsville Scottish Festival and Highland Games.
So, folks, take that one-tank trip up to Blairsville for the Scottish Festival the weekend of June 9th through Sunday, June 11th, and find out what people wear, if anything, under those kilts. Now we mosey on down the road where Coosa and Anderson Creeks cross. Folks, it's time once again to take our one-tank trip on the road. This time we're heading up to Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa in beautiful Blairsville, Georgia, just 25 miles away from Murphy, North Carolina. This place is amazing, and we have Cindy with Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa on the line now. Cindy, how are you? Welcome to When's World.
I'm doing great, Joey. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. You know, I did a little dig-in on Crossing Creeks, and you guys have a ton to offer. We're talking amenities, family-friendly. You're right by the mountains, a stone's throw away from a casino. What's going on up there at Crossing Creeks?
We have so much going on at Crossing Creeks. It's a really exciting place to be, and we are all about having families come to visit us.
Even if you don't own an RV per se, there are some really cool cabin rentals available, right, Cindy?
Definitely. We use a great cabin company out of South Carolina. In fact, you may have heard of them, Green River Cabin Company.
They were on House Hunters.
Yes, that's right. And they handcraft each and every cabin that is located at Crossing Creeks. All of our RV lots are big enough to put a cabin on. So if you choose to be an owner, you can have an RV lot and a cabin on your space. Or if you just want to come and stay the weekend, bring your RV if you have it, bring your camper if you want to. Don't have an RV or camper, just stay in one of our log cabins. They're gorgeous, and staying at Crossing Creeks allows you to access all of the amazing amenities we have in our property, along with our beautiful location in Blairsville, Georgia.
And there should be absolutely no concern about being too close to your neighbor because Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa is sitting on 100 acres.
That's right, and we're located between two trout streams that actually cross, which is where the name of Crossing Creeks came from.
Right, Coosa and Anderson Creeks, correct?
That's correct. So if you are into trout fishing, you can actually pretty much trout fish off your back porch at Crossing Creek.
For those of us who are addicted to our cell phones and laptops, you can actually get some work done because you guys have an incredible Wi-Fi connection up there.
We do. There's fiber optic wireless internet available to everyone that stays at Crossing Creeks. It's super fast. So if you want to come up there and get a little work done without the pesky person sitting next to you in the cubicle, you can do that.
In addition to all that, what really drives people your way is the great staff, the clubhouse. You guys have an activity center, a full catering center, spa, sauna, steam room, fitness center, and even a putting green for those of us who like to be weekend warriors out on the golf course.
That's exactly right. You can warm up at our Putt Chip golf area and then head on over to Butternut Creek or one of the other local amazing golf courses and play 9, 18 holes, whatever you want to do. There's a dog park, so you can bring your dog with you and have a great time running around the dog park. There's tennis and the only pickleball courts in Blairsville located on our property. And again, these are only available to our guests. We try to keep it private just for them so they have an awesome stay and they don't have to wait for somebody else to get off the pickleball court before they can go on and play their next round.
And when you're heading up to Blairsville, you're going to see the stunning views of the mountains. Again, you're sitting on 60 acres, a ton of stuff to do in Blairsville, but also just 25 miles away from Murphy, North Carolina, where you can pull some slots down. A lot of your patrons head that way as well, right, Cindy?
That's right. We have a lot of people who love to go up, play a couple rounds at Murphy, hit the poker tables and other stuff, and then come on back and stay at Crossing Creeks. Plus, we're in Blairsville, which is just a hub for amazing wineries in the area, fantastic food. You're right there at Brasstown Ball, the tallest peak in Georgia. Mm-hmm. There's Vogel State Park if you're interested in checking out the waterfall or doing a hike. There's just a million different things for people to do around Crossing Creeks.
Yeah, we took a one-tank trip up to Blairsville last weekend for the Memorial Day Parade and Festival, and it was amazing. Everybody's represented there. There's something for everybody in Blairsville, and there seems to be something for everybody at Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa. And, of course, if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to you at Crossing Creeks RV Resort.com and connect with the beautiful views of the mountains up there on Instagram at Crossing Creeks RV Resort Spa, and of course on Facebook, right, Cindy?
That's right. We're at facebook.com/Crossing Creeks RV Resort.
So, folks, if you're looking for that quick weekend getaway and don't have an RV, no worries. It's a hop, skip, and a jump up to Blairsville and Crossing Creeks RV Resort and Spa, and they have cabins for rent, right, Cindy?
That's right. We have real log cabins and RV lots for rent. So bring your friends and family and make more memories at Crossing Creeks.
So, again, if you have any questions or want to check out Crossing Creeks, check them out online before you head north. Crossing Creeks RV Resort.com. Cindy, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me, Joey.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, this is Vinny Bucci, a.k.a. The Booch of the male soap opera moment. Make sure you check out the Boochcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Also, like the show on Facebook, where you can find archived episodes. I'm in Wyn's World, and I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's a new day. Yes, it is.
This is your male soap opera moment.
Featuring the one, the only, at Shamso84, better known as Rags to Riches Raggy, right here in Wyn's World. Welcome back, Shamso.
Thank you. There's a picture of a baby smoking a cigarette. I'm sorry.
That's how we do it in Wyn's World. We advocate childhood smoking here.
No, we do not support that.
And of course, it wouldn't be the male soap opera moment without the one and only at Vince Bucci.
Oh, Wyn's World! Don't you dare be sour! Clap for the male soap opera moment and feel the power!
Okay, what What just happened there?
Oh man, I'm feeling the spirit in here today. I feel it. Woo! About to knock myself over. Where's Benny Hinn when you need him? So we have Extreme Rules right around the corner. We're going to talk Raw, but before that, at Shamso84 has exclusive information as it pertains to SmackDown, which was right here in the ATL at Phillips Arena this last Tuesday night.
And none of us went.
Spill it, girl. Spill it.
Well, none of us went.
But you have the dirt.
I have the dirt. I do.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were promoting that Jinder would have a match. It was like a 3-on-3. So it was Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
What's his
Yeah, King of Strong
and
Style.
AJ Styles, Georgia's own AJ Styles, versus Kevin Owens, Jinder Mahal, and Dolph Ziggler. But the match didn't happen that way because the only people that were fighting was Dolph and Shinsuke and Kevin Owens. Later, in a dark match from my inside source, Jinder and Randy did have a match.
And the reason?
The reason because Jinder is fasting and he can't do anything until the sun goes down.
How about that?
Because it's Ramadan.
Yeah. Islamic holiday?
Until the 28th.
Wow. So you got to wonder.
They said he looked a little thin as well.
How this is going to affect the Money in the Bank?
3 weeks away.
Right. But so the 28th, I mean, it's going to be, 4 weeks
He's just going to have to fuel up the day before. Because you can eat up until the sun comes up. And then when the sun comes up, you have to fast until the sun goes down.
Wow.
And I know that because my family is Muslim.
Okay. So, wow, this could have some implications down the line here for Money in the Bank, the SmackDown pay-per-view. But before we get that, let's cross that bridge when we get there. Folks, we have Extreme Rules coming up here in one day by the time this airs officially on air.
Absolutely.
But we're recording this on a Thursday. Let that be known in case we drop some wrong days.
Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Let's just go down the line and get some predictions since Rags to Riches Raggy has graced us with her presence.
For 3 more minutes.
Let's start with the historic Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way match to determine who will face off against the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Of course, we have Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe. Who you got?
I have been on a Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins page. I'm switching over, man. I'm going for Finn freaking Balor.
He has been getting a nice push.
He has.
What about you, Booch?
I got to go with Balor. I feel like they're really, like I said, with the Paul Heyman segment, I feel like they're really starting to push him. Also, like I said, he was the first ever Universal Champion and never lost the belt. So I would say Finn Balor is probably the most likely to win. In fact, if you're looking for betting odds, I would say Finn Balor is most likely. Second place would probably be Bray. Third place would probably be Samoa Joe. I don't see Rollins or Reigns, either one of them, going up against Lesnar. But my primary choice is Balor.
I'm going to go with Reigns. I think he's going to win the match and face off against Lesnar.
History's been made. The Wens is backing the big dog.
I am. It's his yard
this your
now.
House?
This is his yard.
Okay.
You know, I just feel like they're throwing us off the scent with all these Balor promos. I think it's too easy. The IC championship on the line. Sloppy Dean going against the Miz Bro here.
I'm just going to have to keep it real. I like Sloppy Dean. Sloppy Dean has it.
He's gotten a lot better in the ring. Notice that.
It's weird that the Shield is all on the same station now. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, it is. Maybe a reunion? Maybe? Down the line? He got Vince.
I got 2 predictions for this match. The first is, I'm calling it right now, this will be the worst match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, if you need to go to the bathroom or use your cell phone or go smoke a cigarette, this is the match to do it on. And I'm going to hate myself in the morning for saying this, but because of this disqualification stipulation, I think The Miz is walking out with the Intercontinental title. So I'm going to be doing a lot of swearing at the TV.
It could be as simple as a DQ, because if Ambrose does get disqualified, he drops the belt, which is one of the only times we've ever seen that in WWE history.
Yeah, but I think The Miz is going to do something where he's going to do something and blame it on Dean, and he's going to get disqualified. That's how I see it happen.
Push Maurice in the ring,
or maybe like a referee gets hit, but then Miz will hit the ref with like a weapon, toss the weapon to Dean. The ref thinks Dean hit him, gets disqualified. That kind of thing. Something like that's going to happen, where Dean's going to get disqualified, but did nothing to warrant the DQ.
You know what I'd like to see is a kendo stick on a pole match. Actually, we're going to see just that. As you got your girl Alexa Bliss taking on Bayley. Can I just say real quick, I want to give my prediction real quick. I think Bliss retains because I just love her. She's just so cool.
She's horrible on the mic.
See, last Monday was awful. This Is Your Life was dreadful.
Yeah.
But usually I like her.
I have to go with Bailey.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Booch?
I'm a hugger.
This is a tough one. This is another tough one for me. First of all, I want to say, I'm convinced. I've been hearing rumors that Vince Russo contacted Vince McMahon about coming back to WWE, and the fact there's a kendo stick on a pole match tells me he's got to be involved in something. This has Russo written all over it, so I'm already turned off by it. But I'm going to go with Bailey just for the simple fact that from this storyline, she has to win. We have to see something from Bailey this Sunday. We need an extreme Bailey. We got it. The hugger has to get all that stuff.
You think she's gonna start high fiving people instead of hugging them?
I think something maybe that could be a good start. But she's got to do something where she's got to get extreme this time. We got to see Bailey mad. We got to see her edgy. No timidness. No smiling. I love the hugging Bailey, but she's got to throw that to the side because the whole point of this is she can't get extreme. The This Is Your Life thing, as dreadful as it was, really cut at Bailey in multiple different ways. So Bailey's we need to see an edgier side to Bailey in this match. She's got to get that kendo stick. She's got to let Alexa Bliss have it, and she's got to win. Otherwise, you've pretty much just buried Bailey at this point. So I think she's going to win. I think that she has to win for this.
And then she's going to face Nia Jax.
Something like that. And then maybe have Nia Jax be the one that drops Bailey next.
That would be great.
Yes. But Bailey's got to win this Sunday.
Tag belts are on the line inside a steel cage. Cesaro and Sheamus going against the Hardy Boys. Shamso, what say you on this one?
I'm going to go with the Hardy Boys. That's their playground. That's what they do. They're extreme. That's them. And I'm over Sheamus and Cesaro. I like the Hardys.
Booch?
I like both these teams. It's a very tough call. A part of me does believe the Hardys are going to win, but the one thing we need to see in this match is, again, Sheamus and Cesaro need to dish out the most vicious beating to the Hardys. Regardless of who wins this match, the match needs to end with the Hardys not walking out of this arena.
Right.
Stretchers, ambulances, we need that so they can come back and be broken.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the only way they come back with that gimmick. I'm going to go with Cesaro and Sheamus. I think it's their time, and I like their new gimmick. It's dark, and I like it. Is the third time the charm for Austin Aries against Neville? What say you, Vince?
Double A. After I saw that tap out, he has to win at this point. There's nothing else they can do. I believe that's the only. I think that he's going to win. Neville's going to get some kind of rematch. He's going to lose that too. And then I think him and TJP are going to end up in a program because I know TJ Perkins is sitting in the corner waiting for this shot because he's been involved in this storyline too. So I think that Austin Aries I don't see Austin Aries tapping out. I do not see him tapping out in this match. So I got to go with Double A.
Rags to Riches Raggy?
I'm going to have to go with Double A because he made Neville tap out, which doesn't happen very often. So, and he came back from an injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to go with him.
And probably one of the least important and, not popular matches, the mixed tag team. We have Sasha Banks and Rich Swann going against, what's this guy? Noam Dar and Alicia Fox.
Yeah, no, it's the stupidest thing ever.
Who you got?
I'm going to just have to go with Sasha Banks.
Okay.
I think Sasha and Rich have got this one, but I also think that I think that last week, I think WWE heard me when I said that the Intercontinental title match is going to be a bathroom break, so they threw this in here so people will take a bathroom break during this match and not the other one. But depending on where they place it on the card, this could be bathroom break number 2. But Sasha and Rich.
It's got to be pre-show.
Well, they haven't listed a pre-show match yet.
Yeah.
It could be it. You could be right. I'm saying they haven't.
Like this, they're running out of people.
Well, the good news is if they make it a kickoff show, we don't got to talk about it then.
There you go.
Because pre-show don't count.
Yeah, I think for sure Rich Swann, he needs the publicity. And that is all the time we have for the on-air edition of the Male Soap Opera Moment. But wait, there's more. SoundCloud.com, up in the search bar, WENZ World. Till the next time, be cool.
Be well.
Wen's World is fantastic.
This is Wynn's World. It's weird science time.
What if our universe was just a hologram? And I thought, because I'm not smart enough to understand all the intricacies of this question, that I would bring in a true genius, an astrophysicist from our good friends out there in Cali, Reasons to Believe's own Dr. Jeff Zweerink. Welcome back to Wynn's World, Jeff. How are you?
Hi, Joey. I'm doing well, and I'll take the title of astrophysicist. I think genius may be pushing it there. So.
I don't know, man. You seem to have all the answers. So this question here boggles my mind. I can't even get past the notion of what I'm seeing, feeling, what I'm hearing, what I'm smelling isn't what they call real. Help me unpack this.
Well, this is one of these odd things that happens in physics is that we, as physicists are trying to understand a certain phenomena, they'll do some weird mathematical stuff that looks almost kind of like mathematical hocus pocus, but nonetheless it turns out to work and be very practical. And this is one of these things. It actually relates from a long-standing argument about whether information is destroyed in a black hole. And for physicists, there's a real reason why they think that's a problem or not. But there was this argument between Kip Thorne and Stephen Hawking and Roger Preskill, and it was a fairly vocal but friendly war about this. But all that to get around to, they're trying to understand what happens to what's going on inside a black hole, and they came up with this very remarkable principle that all of the information inside a black hole could be encoded on the surface around it. And so they've got this three-dimensional structure that all of the information in that three-dimensional structure can be encoded on the two-dimensional surface of it. And so people begin thinking, well, what if we could apply that principle to the universe? And so because it's a general principle, not just specifically to black holes, but they were asking the question, what if all of the three-dimensional stuff we see in our universe is really just the information that's encoded on a two-dimensional surface? And they called it the holographic principle, because that's really what you're doing with a hologram, is you're taking a two-dimensional surface, you're encoding all of this information, and then when you look at it with a particular system, you get all of the three-dimensional structure behind it. And so that's kind of the general principle, or what the thought is behind this, and why it's called the holographic principle, and why we think people are talking about our universe might be a hologram.
So what do you make of it? Are you seeing their side of things, or are these kind of super outlandish claims in your opinion?
Well, I think they're in the class of scientific speculation, and I don't mean where people are just throwing out weird things and get away with anything.
Right.
They're trying to put forth ideas that would help us understand how our universe actually works. And the speculative part is that we don't have the tools to yet test them, and so they're trying on the ideas and fleshing them out and seeing, could we test them and could we get evidence for and against. And there are some areas where where these explanations provide a better match to the data than some other explanations. But all that being said, is they are still very speculative. They could be completely wrong. We just really don't have the tools to test them yet.
So how do we view time in light of this theory?
I think that's a good question that I don't have a great answer for, because it probes in a little bit beyond my expertise or what I've specifically studied. But my vision of that is that, you've got this two-dimensional surface that is projecting all the three-dimensional spatial information that is kind of evolving through time. And so, time still really does kind of behave as we think it does.
Right.
But even in these ideas, there are connections between past, or some of the solutions for this, if you will, have scenarios where past, present, and future are all connected and correlated in certain ways. And so time would actually be involved there. And, the other thing you have to realize is that we're not just taking the three spatial dimensions and casting it onto a two-dimensional surface. It's whatever the dimensionality of our universe is, we're putting it on a universe that has one less dimensions to it. So, in that, time would be either included in the fact that all of this evolves through time, or that would be part of that projection in there as well. So, like I said, it gets into the details and gets kind of complicated after a while, where the difficulty in this is, at some level, you just have to trust that what the math says is an accurate picture of what's going on. And that's what that's what we can't actually test yet, is what we're getting from the math, is that actually correspond to reality. That's difficult to tell.
Right.
To test at this point.
So with the correlation between past, present, and future, does this theory allot for time travel, or?
No, it still would not allow any sort of time travel.
Okay.
Again, it's really just trying to get at the fundamental reality of what is it that is the reality of our universe. And, when you get into quantum mechanics, that sort of question comes up. And even in general relativity and black holes, you're trying to get into what's the ultimate reality of things. And one of the things science has shown us is that our reality, or the ultimate reality, is often very counterintuitive. We think of things, time moves at a specific fashion, space is absolute in the way we think about it, that things are entirely deterministic. And when you look at general relativity and quantum mechanics, what they show you is that those seemingly common sense ideas don't provide a good description of reality. And so this is really just kind of going along in that vein, that it may just be something that's kind of weird that we have to get used to.
Now, how do you view all this through the spiritual lens?
Well, if you take the analogy of a hologram there, you may say, all right, there's this two-dimensional surface that you can get this three-dimensional structure out of. But ultimately, to do that, you have to have an entity that transcends that two-dimensional structure, if you will. So there's often a laser that you shine through, and it projects things, or you have to be looking at it from a different dimension. And so it really does kind of have this idea that there's something beyond the hologram, if you will. Right. And I find that very comfortable with what Christianity has to say, that there's a God who transcends creation and who can see things outside of creation. So I find that idea fits very well within my spiritual view of the world. And one of the other things that I find interesting is that we are limited in our ability to understand what the fundamental reality is. Again, if Christianity is true, we're very much physical and spiritual beings who exist, but our eternal state or our eternal nature is not really tied to this universe. This is a temporary universe, if Christianity is correct description of things. And so the fact that it's got some ambiguity, or not ambiguity, but some weird aspects where it's a projection of a lower dimensional plane, that really doesn't bother me either, because in some sense, how do you have eternal beings who exist in a finite physical universe? Well, there's going to have to be some weird stuff going on there for that to work properly. So I don't know how that's all going to play out, but I don't see anything in here that says, oh, yeah, clearly Christianity's got a wrong description of things.
Right, and as linear creatures, it's almost impossible. When my brain starts thinking about creation and the end, it's like, okay, so God was here before all of us, but, when did God arrive, or how did he arrive, and all these things, and I just come to this place where I just don't get it, right? So I think that's where a lot of us lose track of just the linear structure of time and how it all plays out as human beings.
No, I think you're right. And, one of the things I know as a physicist is that, I'd say, okay, how do I explain that? Okay, I get that. I understand that. And then there are certain things that after a while, I can't say I understand them, but I get comfortable with them, and because that's just the way things are. And I think that applies in the spiritual realm as well. There's aspects of how God interacts with us that we can understand. And then there's just a point to where you say, that's just the way God is, and you kind of get used to it, if you will. So, I don't know what a trillion means. There's nothing that I have a trillion of that I could sit down and delineate. But after a while, you get to those big numbers, and I get comfortable with them because I use them enough, but I don't entirely understand them. And so I kind of see a parallel with what you're talking about and how God interacts with things, is that God transcends time. He created time, but yet I'm a very timeful being, and everybody's a very timeful being. So at some level, I'm just going to have to be comfortable with that.
Man, that's such great insight from When's World's personal astrophysicist, Dr. Jeff Zweerink. You can connect with Dr. Zweerink on Twitter at RTB_JZWEERINK. Of course, connect with Reasons to Believe out there in California on Twitter at RTB_official. Hit them up online, reasons.org. Dr. Zweerink, in addition to being an astrophysicist, you're also the author of Who's Afraid of the Multiverse and co-authored the Impact Event Series. After listening to you talk about all of this, I've gone cross-eyed, but I do feel like I have somewhat of a better understanding of what these scientists are talking about and how it relates to our everyday lives, and even toward the fun stuff, a.k.a. the abstract.
Well, good. I'm glad it's helpful. And, I find doing stuff like this interesting because it forces me to dig in and stretch my mind, too. So I enjoy if I can be able to help get a little bit better insight into what's going on.
Thanks, Dr. Zweerink. You rock, man. Can't wait to talk next time.
Thanks. Looking forward to it, Joey.
Plan on attending the Blairsville Scottish Festival and Highland Games this weekend. Yes, sir, Scottish rocking in the North Georgia mountains, featuring great music concerts all day Saturday and Sunday, along with a variety of festival activities. It's no wonder that the Blairsville Scottish Festival has made the Southeast Tourism Society's top 20 events list. Lots of things to see and do, including Scottish clans, Highland dancing, athletic competitions, great vendors, and of course, Scottish food and merchandise. To learn more, visit BlairsvilleScottishFestival.com.
Explore the greater outdoors in the mountains of beautiful Blairsville, Union County, Georgia. A quick 2-hour drive from Atlanta, Blairsville truly offers something for everyone. Outdoor activities include lakes, rivers, waterfalls, hiking, biking, and more. Excellent food in Georgia's premier wine country. Georgia's tallest peak, Brasstown Bald, and the stunning Vogel State Park all make Blairsville the perfect spot for your next mountain getaway. Learn more at visitblairsvillega.com.